Welcome, FNOC57 here. Once again, I'm back on Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on my Xbox, and today is the day for the starting room challenge on Terminus Island. We must reach round 30 to secure the Hidden Power Ultra Rare Gobble, 15,000 XP, and an additional Gobble Pack. With that being said, you can play this solo or with a team. However, we will be conducting, or trying to conduct, a no gobbles used run, or possibly at most very limited gobbles. I'll explain in a second. So this will be a complete walkthrough. Let's start with the loadout. First and foremost, something not mentioned, if you are doing this without gobbles, then you will want to change your GS45 zombies build to something like this. Something built for hipfire accuracy. So I've changed up to the ported compensator, extended mag 2, obviously akimboed, the steady aim laser, and rapid fire. Obviously, you don't need that if you plan on using a wall power gobble, and if you're doing this in a team, I highly recommend you do this with gobbles. For our main weapon that we will be bringing in, we will be using the XM4. This is something that I don't normally use, but we'll be using this weapon because I feel like it's going to give us the best overall survivability. Pretty much we're going to have the Merlin Mini Optic. A suppressor, while you don't need it, I do feel like equipment drop chance kind of seems higher when using a weapon with a suppressor. That's not confirmed, but that's the way the game has felt to me, at least for the starting room challenge mode. Barrels don't make a big difference, so we will be using the reinforced barrel, and the main bulk of our work is going to be done with the drill charge launcher. Extended mag 3, commando grip, light stock, and then the 3-round burst attachment for the XM4 give us a assault rifle with a substantial fire rate that can still have the trigger held down on it, but has pretty much the highest headshot damage and neck damage of any of the assault rifles in the game, while still having top tier magazine capacity and fairly quick reload speed, even with that heavy drum magazine. So this is going to be the weapon that we bring in. If you want to use gobbles, you can. Melee does not matter. Field upgrade is going to be drastically personal preference. I prefer the defensive capabilities of Ether Shroud. You could use Frost Blast if you're more of a god tier player. You can also use Dark Flare if you are absolutely just a god tier movement player. I do not recommend Energy Mine, Frenzied Guard, Healing Aura, or Tesla Storm for this, simply because you just don't get your field upgrade back enough to make them worthwhile, in my opinion. I will also be using decoys instead of using shock charges. Decoys are unlocked earlier, so they tend to drop more often without the assistance of Vulture Aid's Picky Eater. I will also be using the combat axe. While you could make the argument for Molotovs or really any equipment, the combat axe is a one-hit kill on regular zombies regardless of what round you're on, and of course you can pick it back up. As far as gobbles, we'll cover gobbles just because. While I am going to try to do this run while using 0 gobbles, I am a firm believer in the fact that we have gobbles for a reason. You might as well use them to take the edge off the challenge. Most folks are going to have tons of gobbles by this point in the game's life cycle. I've had 99 plus of a lot of the gobbles, especially the rares, for a very long time, simply because I just don't generally use gobbles in most of my games. So having something in your pocket like a Shields Up, a Killjoy, Temporal Gift, even a Power Keg or anywhere but here can get you out of a sticky situation, and you should consider using them because they're really easy gobbles to get. As far as epics, not many are going to help us in this particular situation. You could bring in Dead Drop because it does increase the equipment drop chance in addition to salvage, but with no arsenal station on the map, salvage is completely useless. Free Fire would be another option, but it really isn't going to help you out very much unless you're going to use a wall power gobble, because, well, you just don't have any way of upgrading your weapons. The rest of the epics are basically useless. Legendary, it doesn't hurt to have a Idolize in your pocket for a absolute last ditch survival chance. Wall power is good on the house, can be good, especially if you're playing in a team and everybody is willing to sacrifice and on the house. I will mention, if you are playing in a team, the strategy for this map does change, so I'll explain both strategies. But if you're playing in a team, highly consider at least 2 players being willing to use wall power. In addition to that, if you have a 4-player team, it would be easier if every player brought in on the house, because that would allow you to have 4 free perks for all players involved. There is no mystery box, so we can't take advantage of Immolation Liquidation or Crate Power. If you wanted to risk a Flavor Hex just to see what happens, you could of course use that. Support Group can also be used and is surprisingly effective, considering that you can actually use some of Support Group's kill streaks without consuming the gumball in its entirety, but you do have to be very careful on that. Ultra rares, obviously the absolute easiest way to go with this particular challenge is to pop a Perkaholic and then a hidden power on your primary weapon. Completely personal preference though, since obviously I can understand folks not wanting to spend ultras. The other tactic is to get to wave 39 and then for wave 39 pop a timed out gobble, which will automatically end the round, putting you at round 40 and giving you the completion. Obviously whimsical gobbles don't do anything, and we have tons of those, so you can use them if you want, but they'll probably get you killed. So I would not recommend having them. What I would recommend are the gobbles that I have currently set up, which is Shields Up and Killjoy. They can save your life in your time of need. Idolize if you get really, really stuck at the worst point in time. And then Arsenal Accelerator and Power Keg, because we will be relying on our field upgrade. While Ether Shroud in and of itself does not actually give us any damage boost, just the fact that it can save your life is utterly amazing. So as far as perks go, we're going to be rocking Stamina Ups, Dasher, and Hotfoot Augments. Now remember, you're not guaranteed what perks you're going to get unless you're using a Perkaholic, so you want to have all of your perks set up. Quick Revive, Dying Wish. If you're playing in a team, highly, highly recommend Karmic Return. If you are really concerned about perks, then you might wish to have the, instead of Dying Wish, if you have like teammates that are going down all the time, you may wish to have EMT, but EMT only works once, so just keep that in mind. Juggernog, Probiotic, Hardened Plates, Melee Macchiato, Vampiric Extraction, Hidden Impact, Speed Cola, Supercharged, and Fast Pitcher. It is more important to have those than a slightly faster reload. Vulture Aid, Fetid Upgrade, and Picky Eater, absolutely. Death Perception, we're going to be using Treasure Hunter. This way we can hopefully get more score streaks back. And then PhD Flopper, obviously Slider and Turbologist. Deadshot Daiquiri with Deadhead and Dead Break. Double Tap is going to get changed up a little bit to Double Standard and Double Time, simply because we want to be able to fire faster. And Double or Nothing is not really going to help us, since our ballistic weapon is going to fall off in damage very quickly. You could make the argument for Double Jeopardy, where zombies at low health have a chance to immediately die when shot. The problem is you have to get the zombie to about 20% health to even have a chance of Double Jeopardy proccing, and by the time you get Double Tap, you are probably more than likely not going to be able to take the zombie down to low health in the first place. Elemental Pop is going to switch to Imperial Peach and Pineapple Blast. This way, if you do get Elemental Pop as a perk, you will have a chance of proccing your ammo mod as much as possible, since there is no Arsenal Station. Ammo mods can be whatever you want. I recommend Deadwire with Lightning Strike. If you go down here to your Shatter Blast, I do recommend that you have Blast Repair, just in case it procs, it'll refill your armor. And that's really about it as far as your ammo mods are concerned. And everything else is personal preference. For your field upgrade, since we will be using the Ether Shroud, if you're in a team, absolutely have Group Shroud. If you want to use the Ether Shroud offensively, you can use Burst Dash. However, it is possible to get yourself in a sticky situation, and because of Burst Dash, die. So I don't recommend that. For a minor augment, obviously increase max charges by 1. Any field upgrade that you can have 2 max charges on is ideal, which means Ether Shroud, Dark Flare, and Frost Blast are going to be your most ideal setup. With a full coordinated team, Energy Mines with turrets does become a factor because you're going to be more held up in one area using GS-45s. Frenzy Guard will more than likely get you killed unless you're playing in a team and you want to have one person using Frenzy Guard with Phalanx so that everybody can repair their armor. Again, entirely personal preference, but I would not recommend it. So let's go ahead and get started. I know Loadout took a little bit longer, and this is going to be a longer video, simply due to the fact that there is a tremendous amount of information to cover, and I want to cover it all for you. So, please do me a huge favor, smash the like button, leave me a nice spicy comment on the video, consider sharing it with your friends, as that all greatly helps out in the searchability of these videos. It takes hours to do all the testing for this. Now, you may notice a slight cut in the video because this is going to be part 1. This is the first part. So, this is Terminus Island. There is nowhere to go. We can't take the elevator. We can't even hide in the elevator. So, you are just kind of at the mercy of the zombies. If you're playing with a team, then you're going to want to stack up in one of 2 places. Either this back room, because there's only 2 points that the zombies can come from. The GS-45 is located here. Do not throw your combat axes into the zombie cells because they will get stuck in there. And we cannot open any of these doors. We are just completely and utterly well and truly stuck. You have that GS-45, this ammo box, and this gumball machine. That is it. Now, this security overlook area is where we will be spending a lot of time eventually, and this is where you will stack up if you are running multiple players. The reason why you'll stack up in that corner is because of the ammo box, so that you can literally be firing, and then just turn and hit the ammo box in order to get more ammo for your GS-45s or for your drill charge launcher. At that point, you're only going to have to worry about that spawn point, obviously them coming out of the main room, and then this spawn point. So you'll only have 3 spawn points to worry about, and with multiple players, you can just focus fire annihilating everything till it gets to the point that you may all have to transition at some point running through this tentacle trap, which thankfully the tentacle trap doesn't cost all that much. Now that you know the strategy, we're going to go ahead and go over the first part of this game, which is going to be setting up for your perks. It's going to take you about 5 minutes, roughly. So turn on the Rampage Inducer and speed through till maybe about round 8, or whatever it is that you get your first 2 perks. The reason why I say this is because of the fact that if you don't get the perks that you want, you will need to quit the game and try again. It is extremely unforgiving. This map is absolutely no joke, and it's just kind of nutty. So doing this without Juggernog is absolutely insane. It should take you about 5 minutes roughly to get your first 2 perks, and that'll give you a good idea of what you'll be working with. So if I don't get a good perk on this explanation, then I am going to just reset. And this run we're going to reset anyways. Alright folks, you see things have changed a little here. I have a Perkaholic. We're back on round 1. This is my final attempt. I have tried and tried for the past 11 hours resetting my game after getting my first 2 perks, sometimes 3 perks, to try to get Juggernog and be able to give you guys a flawless run with 0 gobbles used. I'm not getting it. I can't get Juggernog. I can't get PhD Flopper. I don't know why, but the game just refuses to give me those 2 perks. I've had every combination of perks other than that, but I can't get the ones that I need. Maybe I'm just not good enough to do this challenge without having Juggernog. Maybe I'm too fatigued. I don't know. I like to think I'm an alright zombies player. Hopefully above average. But I don't have that kind of patience. If I can't do it in 11 hours, it's just not happening. I am out of hard drive space. I have this run to make it happen. Even then, I might run out of hard drive space for the recording prior to getting this done. So I am rushing this, folks. I am rushing it right now. I'll explain everything that you want to do, regardless of what method you want to use. If you want to do a no gobbles run, resetting until you get what you need is the biggest part of it. We're going to make this insta-kill work for us here. While you're inside this area, it is extremely difficult. I'm going to turn back on the Rampage Inducer just because of the fact that we have this insta-kill and I want to use it to deal as much damage as I possibly can and get through that. I'm rushing right now. Like, I don't have hard drive space. I don't have patience. I don't have time. You earn gobbles so easily in this game, and we've earned so many gobbles over the lifespan of this game that we're going to use it. We're just going to do it. We're going to pop that Perkaholic. We're going to make our own luck since the game does not want to help us out here. You do want to turn off the Rampage Inducer relatively early. You also want to keep an eye on what rarity the GS45s are on the wall. Regardless of whether you are doing this solo, with a team, with gobbles, without gobbles, it does not matter. You will eventually be buying those GS45s off the wall. If you're looking to do this and you don't have like an ultra rare gobble, you don't have Perkaholic, that's okay, guys. It's okay. It can still be done. It's a lot easier to do in a team, and if you have a wall power gobble, then you can make this super easy. Obviously, if you have a full team, it's going to be more enemies. It'll be a little bit more difficult, but it'll still be okay. We've got our random perk here. It's coming in as Melee Macchiato. If you get Melee Macchiato on your first perk, it's basically never, ever, 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 ever going to give you Juggernog. I've tried so many times. But at this point, I'm almost convinced that Juggernog is unobtainable on this particular map. So, we're doing it here. We're out of hard drive space. The perky is getting popped. I do have Melee Macchiato as my second perk, which I don't want. I really don't want that. But it is what it is. You can do this, like, with almost any combination of perks if you can get Juggernog or you can get PhD Flopper. If you can get either of those two as your starting perks, you can do this. Now your strat without using gobbles is going to be to stay out here and keep going back and forth and just training around here. So get used to it. You're going to want to come out here relatively early. You're going to want to come out here more, well, I'm going to say around, I don't know, hard to say. Wave 6 to wave 8, you're going to want to come out here. And that's pretty much regardless. Now, like I said, you're going to keep an eye on the GS45s. Since we're solo, we're going to switch up our gumball pack here. I used my Perkaholic. I'm now going to try to get a Idolize. This is just in case of emergency, because I'm done trying, folks, here. Yeah, I'm showing and I'm explaining what to do, but I'm done playing around with this. We're getting through it. Come hell or high water, we are getting through this. So we have an Idolize just in case. Just in case of emergency. We're going to keep an eye on the GS45. You want it at blue rarity if you're going to use a wall power or higher. It depends on what your game is like. If your game is really generous, it's going to go to purple rarity relatively early on in the game. If your game is not generous, it's going to just stay there until like round 25 at blue rarity. I have literally been in a game at round 15 and still had the GS45s on the wall without anybody buying them, because I didn't buy them and I was in a solo game, and they were still green. It's just very annoying. If you get PhD Flopper, then you can, with the augments that I showed at the beginning of the video, you can go ahead and slide through all of that BS, and you can use it to help clear a path. Ballistically, your weapons will fall off, even with perks, because, well, we're not upgrading the rarity of our weapon here. Again, I'm providing you the information. It's up to you to execute the plan however way you want to do it. If you get a blast trap or a C4, you can set it up with the tentacle trap. That'll make your life a little easier. And obviously, it goes without saying, but restock your ammo at the end of every round prior to the next round starting. That will save you a lot of headache. Initially, we'll be able to use our ballistic weapons here, just our regular bullets. They'll actually do something, but they're going to drop off pretty hard, even if you have double tap and you have Deadshot Daiquiri. So eventually it's going to get to the point where the only way that you're killing stuff is either the drill charge, PhD Flopper's explosion, if you're lucky enough to have it, or on top of that, your combat axe. The combat axe actually is really, really good. Be careful of crawlers. Crawlers have a very weird hitbox. Even with PhD Flopper's explosion, half the time you don't hit the crawler. So, you don't want to die because of a crawler. Sorry, I still have a cold from being sick, which has also made it so that my patience is non-existent. Oh, man. Alright, Wave 12 is usually going to be your Mangler. Your very first Mangler. That's normally a Wave 12 thing. If you're lucky and you get a insta-kill, then obviously use it to the full advantage that you possibly can.
Keep stepping up, I dare.
Try to just wipe out as much of the wave as you possibly can before the insta-kill ends. That should go without saying, and normally speaking, without the Rampage Inducer on, an insta-kill should last the entirety of the wave. You can still get a random perk, which is kind of insulting that you can still get that. I guess just because it's scripted, you still get it, even if you have popped a Perkaholic. We're still waiting, and it looks like we're going to be a little unfortunate here. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. We're going to wait for these guys to spawn in. The Parasite Wave, we're going to use the decoy, because remember, you got to make full use of all the equipment that you have at your disposal. I don't know why, but of course sometimes the parasites will spawn inside the building, which is what happened, so he detonated by blast trap. Very unfortunate there. Wave 13 GS45s are still blue rarity. These things are probably going to stay blue rarity for quite some time. I'm just getting unlucky. Ideally, you want purple rarity before you buy them, if you're going to be buying them with a wall power. Your first Mangler is always going to spawn out of that hole, and you want to make sure that you hit that Mangler with a drill charge before he comes out. You want to hit the Mangler before he's out here in the playable zone. Unfortunately, since you must direct impact the Mangler to do any sort of substantial damage to him, it can be very difficult to do if the Mangler is not in front. Which, more often than not, the Mangler's not going to be in front. Remember, you must have used at least a bullet from your magazine in order to buy ammo for the weapon that has your drill charge on it. Yes, it is easier right now because obviously we have all of our perks. Wave 13, still blue rarity on those GS45s, man. Can't get any luck right now. I'm still showing, I'm still explaining, I'm still giving you guys all the information, so please do me a favor, leave a like on the video, maybe leave me a nice spicy comment. Let me know if you were able to get Juggernog or not in your run, because I'm at my wit's end here, folks. I think there's either something wrong with my account, or I'm just incredibly unlucky. Like, I don't know. I don't know, folks. But I tried. I tried so many times to make this happen for you guys. We're waiting for that first mangler. Again, he's hiding from us. He does not want to come out and play. This time, he decided he's going to go to the window. Something that I have never had happen. In all of my tries, that guy never spawned inside. He always spawned down below. I don't know why he's being a butt today. He's being a butt. He's trying to get me killed. He wants to get me killed. He knows he has the power to get me killed. And he's like, I'm going to use this power to get you killed. You want to make sure that you kill these guys with regular ballistic weapons. Keep checking those GS45s. We need them at purple rarity. We're going to be using all of the equipment at our disposal. Oh, of course, now I get the death machine. Wow. GG game. Of course, man. Of course. That's like the best score streak that we could possibly get is the death machine. First of all, the first time you pull it out, and every time after that, it's an instant deploy. Secondly, on top of being an instant deploy, it's got 350 rounds of ammo. More than enough to deal with multiple specials. More than enough to deal with multiple elites. Which, you shouldn't really be dealing with multiple elites, not yet at least, but it still has more than enough. Have to be very careful that we're not getting caught there. Just trying to get around these guys, Going up the stairs is almost always fatal. Especially when you can't buy more ammo. We're going to have to go ahead and make it rain there. Use a decoy. Buy us some time. That's an insta-kill in play. We want that. We want to kill these zombies really quick so we can use the insta-kill for the next wave. The combat axe is a fantastic way to do that. Of course, there's a crawler in the back there. Wave 16, this is going to be our first amalgam. If you're lucky and you have an insta-kill like this, you want to use it during this wave. This should be our first amalgam. The folks that say the amalgam is always on wave 16, well, that is simply not the case. The amalgam is not always on wave 16. It just depends on if you get lucky or not. You're going to drill charge him multiple times. Drill charging him multiple times is more than sufficient to kill him. And if we drag him into the tentacle trap, it just makes life so much easier. We're going to kill all of these zombies that are spawning behind us. You have to be careful while doing this, and you're using your combat axes, because your combat axes can go in the jail cells, and then you won't be able to get them back. They can also kind of get stuck in the door, and you can only carry 5 combat axes. So just bear that in mind. You can kill multiple zombies with a single throw of a combat axe. You can also slide underneath the tentacle trap, even when the tentacle trap is in operation. If you do get caught by the tentacle trap, all you're going to need to do is immediately look up and shoot the tentacle mouths. It's very easy. Anyone that tells you that you can't use the tentacle trap is silly. Make sure that the tentacle trap comes off of cooldown. You should do this before every single wave. Buy ammo so you're fully restocked on drill charges. Deplete 3 rounds. from your ammo so that you can buy more ammo. Ammo is only ever going to cost us 250. If for some reason you're having issues, it's a good idea to give yourself a retreat point with any shock charges that you might find. Remember to pick back up your decoys. Try not to use too much armor. Wait for that little neat, 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 neat noise that we heard earlier. That's the trap resetting. And if you can, you want to grab any C4 or blast traps that you might come across. For C4, I kind of like placing it where a big group of zombies is going to be. So, pretty much on the inside of where the tentacle trap activation point is. It's going to be another bug wave here, of course. The amalgam can be, well, I've had the amalgam on wave 15, 16, or 17, depending on just how the game likes to be a pain in the ass. That's all there is to it. Unfortunately, with everything being bound to, like, the same button, it's incredibly easy to detonate your C4 while you're trying to reload if you accidentally double tap X. Which is exactly what I did there. We're going into wave 18 and the GS45s are still blue on the wall. This is what I'm talking about, folks. I've been on wave 10 and had purple rarity GS45s. Yet for some reason right now, I just cannot get them to go to purple rarity. It's completely random, very frustrating, very annoying. We need to make sure we hit that mangler. We were able to hit that mangler with the first drill charge before he came into the playable area. That is phenomenal for us right now. I mean, yes, I do have my perks. So, obviously, we have the health. The health increase is absolutely a godsend. That's why we wanted Juggernog in the first place. But the game just would never give it to us.
Mass casualties is my middle name.
You can use a nuke if you want, especially if you already have your perks. And if the tentacle trap is off of cooldown, feel free to go ahead and use the nuke. Feel free to also deplete any ammunition or other random items that are near the ammo cache, because they're just going to kind of get in your way. Make sure the tentacle trap is off of cooldown every wave. And if you're planning on grabbing something like a molly early on and then chucking it in there, you can do that if you want to. It's extra points and it'll thin out the horde a little bit. Unfortunately, that time, Mr. Mangler decided that he was going to hide in the back, which is very annoying, but it happens. It actually happens a lot. So don't feel bad if this happens to you.
Sending decoy.
If you have extra decoys, which you're probably going to have if you got the perk Vulturade and you have Picky Eater on it, then by all means just keep, grouping up the enemy, blasting them with drill charges and using your decoys. Micromanaging your score streaks is going to be huge here. Even with our perks, it's still very easily possible that we die. Especially like this, we have crawlers. Crawlers in play are very annoying. I don't care what anyone says, crawlers are annoying for this challenge. We're looking for our GS45s to turn purple. It's wave 20. The GS45s still have not turned purple. This shit is super irritating. We're going to have to start juggling our equipment here. So we're going to use an impact grenade, pick up the Hellstorm, drop the Hellstorm. This way we have our death machine. We're going to toss a decoy, and then we're going to Ether Shroud. This is going to give me the opportunity to blow those guys to bits. Buy ammo. And then, since I was lucky enough to get a Hellstorm, I'm going to use the Hellstorm. Hellstorm doesn't really do much on this map because most of the enemies are going to be inside. But it might give you a little bit of breathing room. All we need really is the breathing room. And then we're going to bring the amalgam once again to the trap, through the trap. And we're going to start hitting it with drill charges while it's in the trap. That's why we have that shock charge set way back in here. We set that charge back in there earlier as a safety net. I think I should show you how to go through the tentacle trap. Oh my god, it's sucking me up. Just immediately look up and shoot it. That's all you have to do. Anyone that says going through the tentacle trap is a problem doesn't know how to counter it. And chances are, well, they probably haven't been playing zombies for that long, or at least not on this map. At this point, whether you are using gobbles or not, you're going to need to wait. Wait for this trap to come off of cooldown. Trust me, it's annoying, I know. In the meantime, we'll look for any equipment that we can use. Anything that can give us a bit of an advantage. Blast trap, C4. A hope and a prayer that the GS-45 turns purple. This strategy that I'm showing right now is basically the strategy that you do when you don't have perks. Assuming that you have Juggernog. Juggernog is the linchpin, and honestly, probably the most important perk. The second most important perk is PhD Flopper. The moment that you hear that the trap has come off of cooldown, or is about to come off of cooldown, if you're a super freak and have the timing memorized, that's when you want to just go ahead and kill the last zombie. Ideally, you kill the last zombie about 5 seconds before the trap comes off of cooldown, thereby eliminating some of the wait time. Once again, every time there's going to be a mangler, every time there's a mangler, you want to make sure that you can hit the mangler once with a drill charge prior to Mr. Mangler entering the area that where you can actually move around in. Immediately upon the mangler being in play, you want to go ahead and kill him. Hit him with the second drill charge. The problem with this is, well, he's a pain in the ass to hit. You may have to use an Ether Shroud just because you have no other option to stay alive.
Crowd this war dog at your own risk.
Again, remove parasites with extreme prejudice.
Keep stepping up, I dare. You're toast.
Bonus points.
Remember, we're only going to get a limited amount of armor. And those parasites constantly hitting you are going to be super, super irritating. We can retreat inside and use our combat axes. As you can see, it's a very long, very uphill battle there. Especially with armored zombies at this point. If you get Fetid Upgrade to proc, go ahead and, use that to your advantage while we're waiting for the trap to cool down. Let this help recharge your field upgrade. Still dealing with blue rarity on the GS-45s, dude. This is straight up nuts.
Decoy out.
You don't really want to kill zombies inside. If you kill the zombies inside, there's a very, very high likelihood that whatever power-up they drop is going to be stuck inside and you won't be able to get to it. Wave 22 is more than likely going to introduce you to 2 manglers at the same time. Meaning even if you have perks, this is a very dangerous situation to be in.
Just clearing out the riffraff.
At this point, we have a lot of crawlers. And this is why folks don't like to rely on the drill charge launcher. This weapon makes crawlers. I don't care what anyone says. We can, of course, use nukes to our advantage there. 23, still blue rarity. I'm incredibly unlucky at this point. Yep, still blue. I wanted purple, but...
Tear them to pieces.
honestly, you're pretty silly, especially in a no gumball run, if it's made it this far and you don't buy the GS45s off the wall. Assuming that, you know, you've used a perkaholic like I have, well, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, we can survive. We can definitely do this without, but it's going to make it so much easier. Now, if you haven't done a perkaholic and you're doing a no perks, no gobbles used run, then not having the GS45s is a death sentence. Especially when dealing with, like, these enemies. While we can hit them with the combat axe, it's incredibly difficult to actually hit them effectively with the combat axe. And you can slide into the low-flying ones with PhD Flopper, but it's, again, incredibly hard to do consistently.
Max ammo.
Always get rid of 3 rounds. Always. You want to be able to buy ammo for your drill charge launcher without having to have the drill charge launcher out. Wave 24. Here we go again. You know the drill with the amalgam. We're going to activate the trap. And we're just going to start pumping Mr. Amalgam here. Just pump him with those drill charges. If you have extra decoys, now's the time to use those extra decoys. Mr. Amalgam's going to hit you. He will almost kill you. And we're going to have to use an Ether Shroud. Very unfortunate set of circumstances occurred there. Because now we're dealing with amalgams plus all this other crap. Unfortunately, the trap's going to be on cooldown.
Decoy thrown.
Remember, if you have decoys, we're going to be going back and forth here. We're going to be looking for armor. We're going to be looking for ammo. We need to get rid of this jackwagon. Ideally, you've already gotten rid of the amalgam, because this guy's going to be, like, trying to eat you. He's going to be trying to eat the zombies around him and get his health back. Plus, you're going to be dealing with the stupid mangler knocking all the damn zombies down. You're probably going to have to do that. If the trap has come off of cooldown, and you're lucky enough, or unlucky enough, that you've wasted enough time for the trap to come off of cooldown, again, a second time, to where you can use it twice in one game, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, man. If you're that unlucky. If you're that unlucky, welcome to my world. I used multiple decoys, multiple Ether Shroud charges. I totally just bug-googled, but good, that run right there. Absolutely fuglied it. I missed with my drill charges, so I did not direct impact the Mangler. I missed with my drill charges on the Amalgam, so he did not direct impact him there. And we are still staring at a freaking blue rarity gun, man. It's the GS45s in a starting room challenge. They really should have gone purple rarity by now. But for whatever weird, wacky reason that the game devs have decided that they're just another RNG element. I think our shock charge is still here. No, our shock charge detonated. Oh well. Oh well. No safety net for us. Make sure we have full ammo. I don't know if we actually did. Trap just came off a cooldown. Normally I would be like, yeah, time it. Right now I'm so tired and fatigued from being at this for over 11 hours that I cannot think straight. Guys, I just cannot. We're at round 25 and we are stuck with blue rarity here on the GS45s. It's not going to purple. So we're going to use our wall power. Now this is the strat if you get PhD Flopper or if you use a Perkaholic. You can buy these GS45s off of the wall. More than likely you will have purple rarity, and then you can just have yourself if you're solo, or the entirety of your team if you're not solo, sit by the ammo box. This way you can just always have one weapon firing, and you can go through and wipe the entirety of the wave. Simple, easy, effective. Obviously now you'll be paying 1,000 for ammo, but, well, minor technicality. Triple gum, what am I going to get? Basic blue gobbles. Like I said, it's relatively easy to get gobbles. Personally, I would not be all that concerned about using gobbles. Now, as you can see here, honestly, these GS45s, they're not that effective. Like, they're Pack-a-Punch 1, we have all the perks, and they're not really all that effective.
Two-legged stealth fighter.
But I still wanted to show, like, how they perform. And obviously, if you got them at epic rarity, they'd be performing much, much better. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Oh no! Oh no, that's our dying wish right there. We have no more quick revive. I'm over here jerking around. Just not paying attention. We're blowing it, boys. We're blowing it.
I read these things cause hyperactivity in rats.
Honestly, focus too much on using the GS45s and you'll probably die. I don't know what the heck is going on with the Mangler right now. Oh, he decided he's going to pop up over here. Alright, that's fine. We'll just use this nuke to our advantage. It'll take him down to half health. Once he's down to half health, then we'll hit him with the drill charge to kill him. We're going to have another Mangler as soon as he pops up. We're going to kill him with the drill charge. Alright, alright. Our trap is now off of cooldown. I have no quick revive right now. which is going to make this a lot harder. We're going to have to Ether Shroud. Like, just getting very, very unlucky here.
Silent. Dead. Not to fuck with you freaks? I don't think so.
I swear that happens to me every freaking time when I try to jump up. Like, vaulting over these stairs is not something that you want to do. When you vault over the stairs, more often than not, it is going to get you stuck on a freaking thing. Oh, nice. A full power.
Crap. Your ass-biting days are over.
Obviously, we want to make sure the traps come off of cooldown. Try to collect any armor that we can. Since I've already gone and used a gumball or two to do this. I grabbed a second wall power. That was a really bad decision. Oh yeah, guess what? Still freaking GS45s at blue rarity on wave 27. Like, it's, yeah. Yep, it is what it is at this point. Alright, we're good? We're good. Going into wave 28 here. We're going to drill charge spam for wave 28. This is another tactic that you can use, especially if you don't have quick revive. If you're getting unlucky, if you're getting a little overwhelmed.
I do my best work off the radar.
Because to be honest, I'm not having good luck at all when it comes to my my game right now, and especially with the GS45s.
Back off! I am not a people person.
I tried to throw my freaking thing to get through. Kill the zombie.
Goddamn.
Couldn't get through, couldn't kill enough zombies with it. Whoa, 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 crawlers. Remember what I mentioned earlier about crawlers, like, being the bane of my existence? Yeah, they are. We have an LDBR. It's not bad. Definitely not great. I think there's another decoy. Yep, there's a decoy there. This is me totally not having ammo for my drill charge.
Double points.
Now, just to show the power of gums, if you really want to, you can make the last two waves, or really the last wave, wave 29, incredibly easy on yourself. Oh god, we don't even have to. I was gonna say you could use, make this incredibly easy, but we don't even have to. We have a decoy. We have a wave 29 bug wave. This is apparently where all of my luck went. Normally, you would have to, I think, deal with 2 amalgams, if I'm not mistaken. Shkadoosh! There we go. There's wave 30, boys. There we go. Look at it. in all of its brilliance. Watch as your gobblegums roll in. Congratulations, you have beaten the starting room challenge, because either A, you got Jug and you were just a super freak, or B, you know, are a real super freak, or C, you used a perkaholic and you got Jug. Either way, congratulations. There's everything. It's done. It's over. It's time to feed yourself to the zombies, or unceremoniously just dip out of dodge. We're going to feed ourselves to the zombies because we are done. It is finally over. The torture has ended. Basically, we traded a perkaholic for a hidden power is pretty much what we did. We don't even have to go that far. Like, again, as I said, you could use a hidden power. You get a couple of teammates together. You can do this. It is entirely possible. This death machine will shred. We're just going to get eaten by the amalgam because, you know, game over. I don't like to hit the quit button when playing zombies, mostly just due to the fact that I don't like the fact it says quit, but it also does not give you an after action report, so therefore you're not able to see what, you know, all of your gobbles and everything were. So, that took me 42 minutes to complete once we popped Perkaholic, which I attribute that to having both the nice spicy Juggernog to stay alive and PhD Flopper to move around with. That was phenomenal. Prior to that, I spent over 11 hours attempting to get Juggernog, only to fail to get Juggernog or PhD Flopper every single time. So definitely, if you have good luck, totally doable. If you have bad luck like I do, just pop the Perkaholic and save yourself all of the aggravation. Now, I know I mentioned it earlier, but please, folks, this video took an insane amount of time to try to bring to you. So leave me a nice spicy comment, leave a like on the video, and please share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing with that notification icon turned on. This way, you never miss out on another video. Till next time, my brothers and sisters, thy legion, stay frosty.